Everyone, to another 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Thank you so much once again for joining me. Today I want to start talking about something that's important to me. It's had a little bit of personal and work, as these stories normally do, but it's really about listen to the customer, and while listening, prepare to close. Okay, and I talk to anyone who sells anything. I don't care if you sell cars to consumers, if you're a vendor selling things to car dealers, if you sell cell phones. It doesn't matter. My example, once again, unfortunately, revolves around home renovation as it goes, right? So, get one thing done, want to do another, decide to go look to get a bathroom done. All right, cool. Give budget, talk about ideas, go over everything. Spend time doing that, put everything together. Show up to a meeting day of, you're excited, they want to walk you through 3 different plans, 3 different price points. You've already bumped yourself on the ride over. So you already know whatever your budget was and the ride over, you're like, yeah, but we really, we could go to as much as, right? So that's easy for us. We can do that. The problem is when you arrive and the delivery is unbelievable, and now you're thinking to yourself, okay, it could be even a little more than I bumped myself to, but let's see. Then they hit you with the price, which is twice what anyone ever discussed, okay? And it's frustrating because either you assumed you had a sucker on your hands or you weren't paying attention, but either way, it doesn't work out well for me, the consumer. And when I watch people do this day in and day out, I see it obviously in my business. I see it in the automotive space, people selling cars. When I sold cars, the only thing I did on a test drive was listen. I may have pointed to a direction, I may have said left or right, but other than that, if it was a couple or a family, anything more than a one-on-one, because that's a little bit different situation, and I'll go over that. But even then, you're still listening. But in an environment of 2 or more people, you should be sitting in the back seat, taking notes. And for anyone who's still satelliting people, just letting them rip roar by themselves, you're not doing yourself any favors. It may act and look like it works well for them, but honestly, you're not there to answer questions. You're not there to sell benefits. You're not there to go over features. It's not good. But again, here's my point. If you are there, which you should be there, sit in the back seat and listen. Okay? Listen to the customer, because the customer is discussing with whomever else is in the car ways to sell them a vehicle. Period. Plain and simple. If you listen, what's the saying, right? 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? We should listen more than we talk. Now, I'm probably guilty of not listening enough before I talk, but again, I'm trying to give education based on what I know works to sell things. Maybe not as well in your personal life and interactions with other people. But as it relates to selling things, it has to be about listening. So when you're on a test drive, you take the information, you get back to the dealership. People say, yeah, well, we're going to think about it. Well, yeah, but when we were in the car, we were talking about kind of the time frame I overheard, right, was a little bit truncated. Maybe you guys had a trip plan or something to that effect, blah, blah, blah. Maybe the wife said something about safety. Maybe the husband said something about space and room. Whatever it was, you should have a record of it. You should be able to refer back to it. That's in a retail environment. Let's touch on the vendor environment, right? And yes, we're all doing a show. If you don't have your tickets, go get them. February 25th, Nashville, of course. But this selling dealers, the selling experience that dealers go through when dealing with vendors is something that really needs to be cleaned up, because dealers will give sort of the roadmap. Remember, if you even get time with a dealer to pitch your product, you have to see that as nothing more than, or everything more than, it's sacred time, dude. Sacred time. They don't have a bunch of time to be given to you, so they gave it to you. And you want to be able to ask questions and deliver. So many times I just watch people deliver. Then they stop. Then they ask a question. By then, if you haven't lost your audience, it's pretty much sure you are going to moments later. So you better ask the perfect question. You better get more from the discussion. But it's not just about listening. It's about using those skills that you've acquired to close. You have to be able to close a deal. Okay? It's all well and good to get people through the door and get them down the funnel and blah, blah, blah. But if we can't close, then all we've done is make a friend, which, okay, it's fine. And I'm going to make a friend whether I sell you a car or not, but we're going to be better friends if I sold you one, right? That's just math. That's how it goes. So in this new year, what I want you to think about is I want you to sit there and think about, how can I do better listening to my clients' needs? Remember, it does not matter what it is you sell widget X. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Listen to the client's needs and prepare them for their own close. Take them through, yes, trial close, whatever you want to call it, but get them prepared for it. And if someone gives you, for my situation, it was budget. Someone gives you a budget, listen, stand by it. Do your best to honor it. And in the car business, sometimes that means a little bit of a takeaway close. Okay? It happens. Your budget's $250. Here's $250. Now, if you wanted to spend $300, here's the car you could get. I'll leave that decision up to you. Now, I know that in my household, I go to the $300 because that's fine. What's the difference between $250 and $300? My wife, she said $250. She means $250. She's not going to go over $250. If you were listening, you were able to hear that conversation, right? And in a car deal, if it is a couple, me and my wife, for instance, you should be listening to her. Because that's the deal here. We want to be listening to what matters and then from whom. That's how it works. Typically, people make decisions together. But my point is, if we're trying to get anyone on the side, if we're trying to have anyone understand where we're coming from, it is the side who controls the finances. So figure it out. Understand what you're trying to do and appease. Because if you appease the person, in my case, me, who doesn't control the finances, you've wasted your time. So, again, I stress to you, please take notes. And before you go into your big pitch, before you sell anything to anybody, ask questions as to why they're there, either listening to a pitch, looking to buy a car. I don't care what. Just make sure you ask questions. But see, I say that and right away I stop myself because it's not just asking questions. It's listening and then actually giving an answer of value and substance, not just a or a yeah or a maybe. Like, ask questions, answer, work towards a close. All right? Guys, thank you so much, as always, for joining me. You can find us, obviously, on the YouTube page. You can get to us on Facebook, LinkedIn. You'll find us on all of the podcast networks. No matter where you podcast listen to, you will find us. Android, Apple, podcast.com, Anchor, blah, 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 blah. We're on all of it, okay? Remember, though, my favorite part of interaction with you guys is to the text and phone line, 262-278-0157. Keep them coming. It's been a lot of fun. And as always, have a wonderful week.